Good day, panelists and co-researchers. Our research topic is all about improving students' academic achievement through the effectiveness of blended learning in science, grade 6 pupils of Feliciano Elementary School, school year 2020-2021. Context Rationale. When used in distance learning, blended learning helps to solve knowledge explosion problem, the growing demand for education, and the problem of overcrowded lectures, expanding acceptance opportunities in education, being able to train, educate, and rehabilitate workers without leaving their jobs, and teaching housewives, all of which contribute to raising literacy rate and eliminating literacy. Blended learning increases the literacy rate and eliminates literacy. Blended learning improves learning effectiveness by a large margin, reduces the time environment required for training, lowers training costs, allow the learners to study at his or her leisures, allow for live interviews and discussion on the networks, provide up-to-date information tailored to the needs of learners, and include simulation, animation, practical event and exercises, and practical application according to Al-Shunak and Banir-Domi in 2010. As a result, this model combines the benefits of e-learning with those of classroom education. This education is built on the blending of traditional and e-learning methods, according to Al-Rimawi in 2016.
Key literature. Blended learning is a distance education strategy that combines traditional teaching and learning with technology, high technology such as television and internet, as well as low technology such as emails, by voice, and conferencing, according to ISMI 2001. According to Harton 2009, on the other hand, characterized blended learning as a combination of the best characteristic of both web-based and in-class learning. Blended learning refers to the utilization of two or more modalities to meet a learning need. To define blended learning, it is the utilization of the most effective learning methods to achieve certain learning objective, according to Wilson and Smalanch 2004.
Methodology. The researcher used the quasi-experimental approach due to its suitability to the nature of the study and its ability to achieve its goal by using the post-measurement for the experimental and control group. To achieve the objectives of this study, the following tools were used. First, the educational material. It is divided into two sections, the blended learning method and its implementation mechanism. The researcher has agreed with the male and female teachers in both schools to teach students according to blended learning, ensure the readiness of teachers' knowledge in using computers and the training courses, the ICTL and Intel, ensure the availability of the computer lab in the school for the readiness of computers, and provide the data show. Second, achievement test. The researcher prepared an achievement test to measure the effectiveness of the blended learning in improving students in science. The test in its final image consisted of 20 multiple choice questions after being presented to a group of experts with knowledge in the grade 6 consisting of male and female supervisors and teachers. Each branch of the question were given to the mark for the correct answer or 0 for the wrong answer. The maximum mark of the test was 20 and the testing time was 45 minutes. And the third, validity and reliability of the achievement test. The validity of the test items was checked through being presented to a group of 12 arbitrators, and questionnaire of the test items was distributed to them consisting of all of the items of the test. After taking the viewpoints and suggestions of the arbitrators, the researchers replaced some items with another, and the test in its final form consisted of 20 multiple choice items. The test of reliability was checked through applying the test of an exploratory sample from outside the study sample, and the Pearson correlation coefficient was calculated where the reliability reached 0.87, which is considered the purpose of this study.
Okay, the findings. The result relating to the first question states that the arithmetic mean of the performance of students on the achievement test in improving student achievement in science as a whole, depending on the variables of teaching method and gender and the interaction between them. The null hypothesis was derived from it. It states there is no statistically significant difference at 0.05 between the arithmetic means of the student performance on the achievement in science as a whole to the variable of teaching method and gender and the interaction between them. To answer these questions, the test, the null hypothesis, the researcher calculated the arithmetic means and standard deviation for the marks of the members of the study sample on the achievement test in improving student achievement in science as a whole according to two variables: teaching method through the story, and the ordinary method, gender, male or female. The results were shown in Table 1. Table 1, arithmetic means and standard deviation for the marks of the members of the study sample on both the pre and post achievement test, improving the student achievement in science as a whole according to the variables of teaching method and gender. Table shows that there is no virtual difference between the means of student mark on the achievement pretest in science as a whole in the experimental group and control groups between males and females. To identify the level of statistical significance of the difference in the arithmetic means of the mark of the students on the post-achievement as a whole in improving the student achievement in science according to the variable of teaching method, the blended learning and traditional method, and the interaction between teaching method and gender, and to isolate the difference in the performance of students on the pretest, the researcher applied the two-way ANCOVA at the statistically significant level, still 0.05, and the results were as shown in Table 2. Okay, as you can see, the result of two-way ANOVA associated with the grades of students on the post-achievement test as a whole in improving the student achievement in science according to the variable of method of teaching, gender, and the interaction between them. Statistically significant, the level of statistical significance still 0.05. The result in Table 2 shows that there is no statistically significant difference at the level of statistically significant 0.05 between the means of the students' mark on the achievement post-test in improving student achievement in science as a whole in two groups: experimental, which studied through the blended learning, and control, which studied through the traditional method. The value of the calculated is 21.004, which is statistically significant at the level of statistical significance as 0.000. To determine the value of the difference, the means of student mark in both groups in the achievement posted in science, the modified arithmetic means were calculated to isolate the effect of performance of the two groups in the pretest on the performance in the post-test. The results are in Table 3. Okay, in Table 3, adjusted arithmetic means for the mark of students in experimental and control groups on the post-achievement test, post-test improving student achievement in science after isolating the effect of performance of the pretest. Okay, as you can see on the table, the result of modified arithmetic mean Table 3 for the marks in two groups on the achievement post-test in science as a whole after isolating the effect on the pre-achievement improving student achievement in science as a whole, that shows that the difference were in favor in experimental group, which taught by the blended learning, and modified arithmetic mean is higher statistical from modified arithmetic mean from control group, what's traditional, amounting 15.7. Okay, to find the effective way, we have found the effect size through using the eta square, which was 16.9%. This means the teaching by a blended learning explains 60.9% of the variation in the arithmetic mean of the performance of students on achievement, improving the student achievement in science as a whole. Okay, the Table 2 also indicates the presence of statistically significant difference at the significance level of 0.5 between the means of student mark on the achievement test as a whole, improving student achievement in science in two groups, male or female, in favor of males. The value of P was 4.628, which is statistically significant at the level of statistical difference as 0.05, while the results show no statistically significant difference between the means of the student mark on the achievement post test as a whole, depending on the interaction between teaching method and gender. Calculated value 0.0065, which is not statistically different of statistical significance at 0.05. Okay, the implications. Okay, first, discussing the result related to the hypothesis, there is no statistically significant difference at 0.05 between the arithmetic means of student performance on the achievement test in science as a whole due to the variable of teaching method. Okay, second, discussing the result of the hypothesis, there is no statistically significant difference at 0.5 between the arithmetic means of student performance on the achievement test in improving student achievement in science due to gender. Third, discussing the result hypothesis, there is no statistically significant difference at 0.05 between the means of student performance on the achievement test in achievement test due to interaction between gender and teaching method.
Conclusions. According to the result of post-achievement tests and retention tests, blended learning was found more effective than face-to-face instruction. While means of score of students exposed to face-to-face instruction had a decline of 12, means scores of those exposed to blended learning has a decrease of 8. It can be said that the blended learning method is more retentive than face-to-face instruction.
Recommendations. In light of the findings of the study, the researcher recommends the following: the need of training of teachers, of grade 6 teachers, and encouraging them to learn using the blended learning in teaching, studying the effect of using blended learning in teaching within other teaching results and variables.
Okay, as you can see, the reference is posted on the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you and good day.